This call board meeting of the Harris County Commissioners to order, and it is for the purpose of discussing the 2019 millage rate. And I am going to ask Wayne Morris if he will give us a brief. I know we have it all.
Sure.
All right, and then if there's any questions, because it gets confusing.
Sure, without a doubt. I work with it all the time, and it gets confusing to me. So, if we can do this, I think Randy would like to go over his synopsis of it to begin with, and then I'll go into more detail.
Yeah, so that's fine.
Okay, it's that time of year. We set the millage rate every August. State law requires the millage rate to be adopted by the board by September 1st and approved by the Georgia Department of Revenue by September 1st. So this is the time of the year to do this millage rate establishment for the 2019 tax year. But the school board has to go first because we adopt their millage rate on their behalf. That's a state requirement. So as of Monday, we know the Board of Education, the school board, we know that they're going to adopt their millage rate. They did send over some documentation that they're going to adopt their millage rate on August the 8th. And they're going to advertise beginning this week in the newspaper. And they're going to reduce their millage rate from 17.91 to 17.26 and not have a, that's their M&O, 17.91 to 17.26, and they're not going to establish a 0.65 bond debt millage rate. So that is a decrease of 1.3 mils. Since we know their schedule, then we need to do our schedule. On the memo I did send y'all, we do have options 1, 2, and 3. I'll go over those briefly. Option 1 is a non-rollback of the millage rate, keeping the millage rate at the current 8.63. The rollback rate is 8.577. So if we keep the 8.63 current millage rate and not roll back, that would of course trigger the 3 public hearings as required by state law, and that is an effective tax increase of 0.62% we would have to advertise. The 8.63 millage rate would generate about $11.1 million at the 100% collection rate, but at the customary 97% collection rate, it's about 10.7. That amount would fund the approved budget the board approved back in late June, and we need 10.64 million. So that would fill the bill. And you can see the second paragraph is the West Point portion that we have to approve for them. Under option 1, the non-rollback, the millage rate would stay the same, and only those property owners with increased property valuations will pay more county taxes since their rate went up and the millage rate stayed the same. Now, any questions on option 1? Okay, and then on the second page, you have option 1 on the color code. Again, it's the tax generated at 100%, the 97% collection rate, the advertised increase of 0.62, and it would require the 3 public hearings. And you can see then the county's rate would be 8.63, the school would be 17.26, no school bond millage rate. So we would go from a 2018 millage rate of 27.19 to 25.89. Therefore, all the taxpayers would pay less property taxes. And on a home owner of a $200,000 home, option 1 would have a difference going from the 27.19 total millage rate to 25.89. A typical homeowner having a $200,000 home would pay $104 less in taxes. A $300,000 home, they would pay $156 less taxes as compared to the previous year. So there's your option 1.
Right, and the timeline.
Option 1 is the 3 public hearings, and that's on the next page. We would advertise the first and second public hearings on August the 1st, and advertise the 5-year history and issue a press release. 7 days later, on August the 8th, we would advertise the 3rd public hearing and then hold the first public hearing and second public hearing on the same day, Tuesday, August 13th, one at 11 a.m., one at 6:30 p.m., and all this is per state law. And then 7 days later, on August 20th, hold the third public hearing, and then adopt the final millage rate during the regular commission meeting of August 20th.
We have to have those meetings so that they are available for all the citizens to have an opportunity for the different times.
So that is option 1. And now option 2 follows the same strategy, except it's a rollback millage rate. If the board decides to adopt the rollback millage rate of 8.577, there would be no need for the 3 public hearings. We advertise the 5-year history and levy, and the board will then approve the 8.57 at the next commission meeting, basically. It's real easy, real quick. And the 8.577 millage rate would generate $11,049,000 at the 100% collection rate, or $10.7 million at the customary 97% collection rate. And again, both numbers, like option 1, is enough to fund the approved budget the board approved in June. Only $10.64 million is needed. And the difference between option 1 and 2 is only $68,000. At the 100% and $66,000 at the 97% collection rate. Under this option, the millage rate is being reduced, and the property owners with no increase in their values will see a slight decrease in their property taxes as compared to last year. However, those property owners with an increase in their property values will see an increase in their taxes as compared to last year. And option 2, going back to the next page, there's no public hearings, there's no advertised increases, it's the rollback rate, and the 27.19 total of 2018 millage would decrease to 25.837. A person with a $200,000 home will save $108 compared to last year. A person, a $300,000 home would save about $162,000. Because the county is rolling its millage rate back and the school board is decreasing their millage rate. Now, last option, option 3. If the board wants to entertain a millage rate increase to decrease the general fund's reliance on other funds, in particular the solid waste fund, to balance the budget every year that we've done, and to fund approved ongoing projects such as the upcoming employee compensation plan, the impacts of the pending Grove development, the future development of the new LOC Park, maintenance of the new Rails to Trails project, and other projects the board may want to take on. A millage rate increase may be considered this year in light of the Board of Education's issues. Even with a county millage rate increase and a Board of Education millage rate decrease of 1.3 mills, the overall tax rate, county and school board combined, would be lower than previous year. So there's an opportunity here to accomplish things that maybe couldn't otherwise be accomplished. And you can see on the subsequent pages, option 3 has 3 variations: a 0.5 mil increase for the board's consideration, a 0.75 mil increase, and a 1 mil increase. For example, the 0.5 would generate an additional $624,839,000 in county property taxes. 0.75 mil increase would generate $937,259 in additional property tax increase, and a 1 mil is about $1.25 million. And you can see in option 1, it would be an increase of 0.62%. Under option 3A would be 6.45%, option 3B 9.36% increase, and option C 12.28% increase. In option 3, every one of these scenarios, A, B, and C, would require a public hearing, 3 public hearings as previously mentioned. Again, comparing the 2018 millage rate total of 27.19 mills, it would still be option 3, A, B, and C would still be a decrease from the 2018 millage rate in total. 27.19 compared to 26.39, 26.64, and 26.89. And you can see of a person who owns a $200,000 home, instead of saving $108, they would be saving between $64 and $24 a year, even when the county possibly raises its millage rate. So basically, that is my presentation. Wayne can provide additional information on the color-coded sheet, and then Clint Chastain, the Chief Financial Officer, can talk about the two back pages of the graphs. The first page shows a zero millage increase, keeping the status quo, and how our fund balances would be affected, assuming the growth gets going and the salary study is implemented. And then the last page is the same scenario with a 0.75 mill rate increase. So we're here to answer any questions the board may have on any of these charts, graphs, topics, and numbers.
Anybody have any questions? I think you laid it out pretty well. Thank you. Yeah.
And also, we gave you in option 3, the 3 options there of 0.5, 0.75, and 1 mil. And certainly there are other options available to you, anywhere in between any of those, or above or below, or anything. That I just tried to do it on a quarterly basis like that.
Anybody have any comments?
Yeah, I do. And, you know, this is my 19th year as commissioner, so I've been through this a lot. And I know it's tough to raise taxes. We always have said, oh man, it's great, we can raise taxes again. But over the 19 years, I see a weakness in doing that, because we're struggling with some of that right now. Costs do go up, and there's only so much that we can cut out and hold back. And there's probably a number of things. There's equipment that maybe we need to be buying that we can't afford to buy because we're trying to hold to a budget. Employee raises. Yeah, we know our employees don't make what we would like to see them make. They work hard. By and large, I think they're dedicated to the county. They certainly commit to us. And we haven't been able to do anything with the compression as much as we wanted to. I mean, we made that initial change based on the first salary study, and I don't remember the exact number, but I think it was somewhere around $1 million extra that we put into that. But to go with the compression was going to be another, depending on what numbers you took, was going to be another $600,000 or more. So, it forces us into making decisions. It's forced us into having to take money from our funds, enterprise funds that could be used to alleviate some of the equipment and stuff. So I understand, the need, or not the need, but the want to be able to do something. Yes, here's an opportunity for us to maybe do something for the county as a whole. Of course, once we do it, it's done, but we can always change that in subsequent years. But I think I would personally like to see us at least be able to go up somewhat on that, because it would allow us to be more responsive and take care of some of the things that we need to take care of.
So increase the millage.
Yes.
I agree with you on that.
I don't agree with that. I would go with option number 2. We did a 2.5% increase 2 years ago. I don't agree with that. The option 2 would cover the budget. And looking ahead, I fully expect that there's gonna be, an increase in the school board millage rate. But I would have to go with option 2. That's my opinion. Anybody else?
I can't see us going backwards, and to me, that's what option 2 is. And, you know, we all own land in this county, and some of us own more than others, and we pay taxes like everybody else. But all I've heard since I've been here for 6 months is by my constituents, why can't you do better for the employees? Why can't you do better for the sheriff's department? Why can't you do better for this? Why can't you do this? Why can't you do this? And my answer is, we can't fund it. We don't have the money. We're a big corporation that's struggling. If we went up 5 or 6 mills, I'd be completely opposed to that. Staying, I can see staying, but I just can't see going backwards. Because I know how much we struggled with the budget this year, and we're trying to get lights for the soccer, you know, we're trying to do some things. I can't see going backwards. I kinda am a little bit, I agree with Mr. Harry. I don't know if I think we should go up a whole mill, but I could see going up 0.5. If you go up that, you're gonna get some money, and that give us an increase. It might help us for the next 5 to 6 or 7 years, where some of this issues that we've been talking about, it might help us. Our taxpayers would still be saving some money, although it doesn't matter what we do. We know all taxpayers are gonna not like taxes. I don't like them either. But at least if we go just a little bit, in this instance where we are, it's gonna help us out, and we might be able to do something. Cause I am very concerned about the Grove coming and the salary study, and I'm concerned that and we've all talked to Jeff Culpepper about the Grove, and I'm concerned about how we're gonna be able to do that. You know? So I don't know about going to option 2. To me, I'm kinda at 1 and 3. I'm not sure I'm all the way at C, but I'm somewhere in 1 and 3.
If I may piggyback off Mr. Grant from a reserves timeline period, right now in general fund, as of today, we've got about $8 million in unrestricted reserves, $5 million in solid waste, and $4 million in water. Now, with looking at these estimates with no millage increase, if the Grove comes online, we implement the salary study, we've got at max 3 to 4 years before you have to do a millage increase, essentially. Your solid waste reserves that have been feeding the general fund are still going to have to feed the general fund, and the general fund is taking the salary study hit, plus waterworks is taking a hit. If the Grove doesn't move as fast, we don't implement the salary study, the solid waste is still having to fund $1 million every year to the general fund. So like I said, 3 to 4 years max, but if the Grove comes online, that number gets shifted up 2 to 3 years essentially. You know, if we make the increase at this point, what you basically see on this last page is it helps to stabilize. I mean, the general fund becomes essentially balanced, and you're not pulling money from solid waste. The wild card here is if Grove picks up, waterworks will have to amortize. You know, if that's a big bond issue or something like that, a 20-year, you know, he had at whatever the number is, $250,000, $500,000 each year to pay that down. But with that increase, that sets you up for a decade. You know, the last one shows here, even if those come online, the general fund's balanced. You're not making money on the general fund, but you're balanced. You're going to be sitting at that reserve comfortably for the foreseeable future.
And for the foreseeable future, let's say we went, I know this graph is 0.75, if we went to 0.5, down the road, 3 or 4 years, you're saying we'd still probably have to go up, more than likely?
That number's probably going to be pushed back from 3 or 4 to more like 6 or 7 years. I mean, it buys you a little more time.
Right, it would buy but if we went to 0.75, we'd be good for at least 10 years, give or take?
Not 10, but I mean, it's
a little bit more.
And you know, these are very rough estimates.
Right.
I don't know what's going to happen with the Grove. I don't know exactly what the salary study's going to come in. I put about $1.5 million in for that type of thing, but what this shows is that general fund's won't be decreasing rapidly. Solid waste certainly won't be having to feed the general fund as much, so all three are stabilized at that point. I could say 4 or 5 years looking at this.
And if,
With the current reserve balances we have, plus what we're adding to it, which is year over year.
With the new valuation, how much, more money's collected?
With the new valuation, I can give you some information on that. And basically what we're talking about is the difference between last year and this year. There was, looking at our 5-year history, there was about a, let's see, I'll give you an exact number. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5, 6. We had about a $39 million increase. Now that's a 40% number at 39 million. So 2.5. We had about 97, right at $98 million more on growth on the digest at the 100%. So that's pretty strong.
This year over last?
This year over last. A lot of that being all that we had, I think, about 210 new homes. They're averaging over $300,000 each, which is a good number. That when we get up to those numbers, they begin to support themselves, so to speak. The tax dollars begins to support the county and school and so forth. So if we see more of that, which we could, and we hope we do, especially with the Grove, because the Grove is going to bring in some additional dollars, hopefully, with commercial and multifamily and things like that. That ought to really play into our favor. So, you know, that could eventually lead to where we're sustaining ourselves based upon growth, at least for a while. But that's, once again, down the road a little ways. But we're the digest itself is doing pretty well. We're seeing, you know, there for the longest, y'all will remember, we had a decrease in our digest every year, back starting in 2009. After that, 2008 economic climate, and so we were in the negative numbers there for several years, and so it's just been over the last basically 3 or 4 years that we're seeing the digest climb again, and so we're looking forward to what we can do in the future. But of course, there also comes some costs with that as well. For instance, with the growth and so forth. I mean, if that gets online, Brian may need another inspector or something like that. You know, but still, they're minimal type costs on that. So.
Well, I don't anticipate, and I've talked to Roger about this, Roger Couch about this somewhat, but I don't anticipate the school board needing or asking for another bond because they're going to use SLOSS dollars for their construction, even if they use a mill of their M&O to help repay the debt, which they may do. They're not asking for another bond, so that's 0.65 is probably a permanent reduction for the foreseeable future. So I'm just really tired of hearing everybody, and we know it's the truth, the employees complain about their salaries. We can keep folks. When the salary study comes in, it's going to cost, I would say, $1 million to do probably part of what they're going to recommend. So I could support the option B, A or B, and I actually could support C, although I hate to hear that coming out of my mouth, because of the fact that the Board of Education is going to, I think that 0.65 is a permanent. I do not think that the 0.65 in M&O is permanent with the Board of Education. They're going to go back up next year, most likely. But you got to have the 3 public hearings anyway. You might as well take your whipping and get what you need. If you're, I rarely recommend a rollback because people never remember that you rolled back and saved them a few dollars, but they will always remember that you went up. And, so we rolled back last year in good conscience, good faith, rolled it back, and didn't have public hearings, but, I could support A, B, and possibly C just because the salary study is gonna cost us $1 million if we do anything for our employees, and we have got to do something. But B is kind of a mid-range, so if you can't go with one, you can't go with one, you can't go with one, we could go with B. Becky said she's with 2. You know, if we don't, we're gonna continue here, we're not gonna have the money to do anything about the salary study.
Did you
We've
have the
gotta do something.
opportunity to help out the taxpayer a little bit this year? Did we want to do that?
Yeah, and they'll still feel a little bit of a,
They'll feel.
but they're not gonna notice $44 less.
I disagree with that.
They're not gonna notice 66. I mean, they'll notice it, but.
They're gonna
you know,
notice.
So, I mean, they'll notice a $66, I don't have to pay $66, but.
And by the way, the reason I chose the $200,000 and $300,000 homes, 200,000 is actually the average for Harris County. That's including your big giant homes and then the small homes.
That's
that
on the
you
total
have.
digest.
That's on the total
As it
digest.
exists now.
That's correct. The reason I chose the 300,000 is because that's generally what your new growth
That's
is right
current,
there.
yeah.
Exactly. So that was the thought process in looking at both of those.
You know, just to speak to the point about employee raises, I mean, certainly we have, each year, whatever
they've
the
got
cost
it.
of living has been, that we have done that or a little bit more. Hopefully, that when we get the results of this study, which is another year away, when we get the results of that study, it's gonna say that we did a pretty good job and that we really don't have a whole lot of catch-up on the base salary. But that still leaves the compression issue. Compression, longevity, I think when we do that, we combine the two, that it's both compression and a longevity thing. But yes, it's gonna be the million, somewhere in that range anyway, so, yeah, I don't know, it's just,
What I would hate is for, we know the school's going down this year. I would hate 2 years from now, or even next year, the school goes back
They're gonna
up.
go back up.
They're gonna go back up, and then
And then
these two gentlemen are gonna walk in here and go, hey, we've got to do this, and then all of a sudden, we're gonna have to go up with the school. And I think going up together, that's really a bad, yeah, that'll hurt. You know, and if we do some part of option 3, and at least they're still saving some money, so to speak, not paying as much, that's not as bad as if we both have to do a double whammy later, which I think we can agree that might be what happens with everything we know is coming, you know. And I agree with, you know, if you can save everybody money, it's saving money. But even if we save them the $108, if we roll back, we're still gonna have people say that's not enough. And I can tell you what, I got 3 aunts that'll tell me that, you know.
Oh, it's never gonna be enough.
Right, you know, but I kind of,
It's
you know,
just the way people are.
it is. But I think we have to look at, we've all agreed that our #1 priority should be trying to help our employees and fix that situation along with these other things. You know, I've had a lot of my constituents tell me, I'd be willing to increase my taxes if you could pay and do better for our sheriff's department, do better for our EMS and do all that. And I don't know about all the other districts, but I've had several tell me that. Now, I know they tell you one thing and then they'll say something else too. Now,
Well, you've heard you can,
I actually got told that one man would be okay if we raised the taxes so that he could have recycling. But now if we got him recycling, who knows if he'd use it?
well, I think one of the basic, services of the county, basic, is keeping the sides of the road trimmed and cut so that things look nice. You know, you can be good and not look good.
Right.
I mean, you can look good and not be good, but you can't be good and not look good.
Right.
And we don't look good right now, and even with our increase in tractors, we can't keep people on them. And still, the sides of the road have been cut in my area one time this year, and they look terrible. And that's just a basic service, cutting the grass on the rights of ways. It's not important, it's not life or death, it's just a basic thing that you should do to help things look good. We can't even do that right now.
I got a call the other day, said, well, we appreciate cutting the grass, but can't we go out and pick up the trash first, cause then they
It's a
cut
mess.
the trash and it really looks horrible.
Everything is it just looks terrible, and, I mean, we can't even provide that basic service right now with what we're doing. And I think we're better than that. I think the county's better than that, and there's so many needs that we have. We saw the budget, we saw how much was cut out of the budget, Randy,
About 3 million.
about $3 million that,
All the buildings we're gonna need in the near future, and there's a lot.
Air conditioning,
Needs to be done.
and probably about half of what was cut out, okay, that might have been fat, but the other half is probably meat that we cut out of the budget, so, I don't like a tax increase any more than anybody else. And I'm not hearing it from my aunts, I'll hear it from the other side of the bed, but.
Well, I was gonna keep my wife.
I can't keep, Gilbert Andrews out of it, but anyway,
All right, so what do y'all want to say? What's the recommendation? What's the motion?
No motion.
There's no, well, the
the
recommendation.
consensus. If we're gonna suffer through those public hearings, and we're gonna all get told individually and collectively, then I think we go with either a 0.5, which we don't have the numbers on here, or a 0.75.
I think 0.75 if we're going to do it. I think we could definitely use it if we're looking at, I think you're talking like $1 million on the compensation and the other dollars that we need. I just think that 0.75 would get us a little closer to where we're going to need to be at.
Double it, yeah.
And I hate to say that.
Well,
I sort of want to.
you hate to go up, I mean,
Yeah.
and like
But-
my first college, we've always taken pride that, hey, we didn't have to go up. And we got one of the lowest millage rates on the M&O side, in the state.
Right.
And we still have a real problem. But,
And we're one of the wealthiest counties in the state, which I know
Yeah.
still doesn't mean you want to pay more taxes, but.
I meant to look it up before I came up here, but most of the ones that have the lowest millage rate are the large counties, because they've got
So much commercial.
so much commercial and then so much residential.
Well, I think as a county, we've done a very good job with what we have and what we've been able to have. I think if we go up, what is it, 0.75 or 0.5, somewhere right in there, that allows us to, like you said, we can also look good as well as what we're doing. So sometimes you do get the people, wow, y'all are doing all that, so we're doing really good, but the perception is that we're not. This might kind of put both of them together. Hey, they're looking good, they're doing good, and if this would hold us off from having to increase 7, 8 years down the road, if it would hold us off to do it now, it's almost easier to do it now when we are knowing that they're going to still pay less. If we have to come back and do it later, and we know the school's going back up, and then we have to go up, and trust me, as a new commissioner, I didn't wanna get elected and come in here and say, hey, let's raise taxes.
You know too much, Nick.
Right, yeah, that's right, I'm on this side of the
You
table.
know too much.
Right, and I'm still, I'm concerned, cause I know, we have our employees and we have our departments that don't have enough employees.
Okay, what's the recommendation, folks?
We got 2 at 0.75.
I'll go 0.75.
Yeah, Andrew said it's 0.75.
Harry said 0.7.
Yes, and you did.
I could do that. I can't see going to one, because I keep looking at the advertised increase of 12
That was
Well,
tough,
to
yeah.
me, going double digit increase, I know really will, if we can stay under double digit increase, which puts us at 0.75, I kinda would rather be at 0.5, but I could deal with 0.75. Cause as Susan said, we're all gonna get talked about anyway.
Okay, so that gives us our dates again. Our hearings, well, we gotta get it in the newspaper. Advertise the first and second public hearing, which will be the first one on the 8th. No, that's advertising. First one on the 13th at 11,
Yes, ma'am.
and
then-
6:30 that night, on the
Yes, ma'am.
13th. And then the third one on the 20th. At 7, which is actually
During the meeting.
during the meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
All right? All right? That's it?
I will send the information to Nancy so that she
Okay.
can have the advertising done.
The only conflict with that, Nancy, is Development Authority meeting on the 13th.
It starts at 6, but I can tell them we'll have to start it,
Yeah.
earlier or delay it to the next week or something.
Okay.
All right. I would like to make a motion for an executive session to discuss personnel.
Second.
Go into executive session. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Wayne.
If y'all have any other questions, y'all don't hesitate.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
It's colored paper.